replacing for one single day Joe here on Lavish, on the Barber Network, and Single TV channels 250 and 251 on the H.E.R network. As you know, we want to please ask you to download all the apps, Barn Burners and Single TVs on their respective stores on iOS and Android. Remember that the applications are free, so there is no reason why not to download them and enjoy the programming that the H.E.R network has to offer, including Lavish as at the 5 o'clock hour, at the 6 o'clock hour every single day, Monday through Wednesday. Remember as well that Single TV can be found on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire and Amazon Fire TV sticks, Roku and Roku sticks, and on all smart TVs 2016 and forward. Well, as you can see, the gorgeous and great host of this show, Samantha Walters, is here. She will guide us into what will be the greatest show yet without Joe Pisek.
Oh my goodness, Eduardo, you know you're going to get a phone call right after this from Joe. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. Thank you for coming on today on this special edition of Lavish. We're going to be joined a little bit later on by Deanna, who has a show called Single Pringle on, I believe it's Sunday, but she's going to be coming on to talk about our topics today. Today is going to be all about love. It is in the air today. How are you, Eduardo? First of all, have you seen
I am doing great. I am doing great. A little bit tired. I just did my 1 hour show prior to yours, so I am a little bit. I want to drink a little bit of water while on the show because my mouth is dry.
Well, we're going to be talking about a lot of thirsty topics today. So you know what? Go get yourself hydrated when you can. Oh my goodness. I feel like today has just been so crazy. What is it? 25 centimeters of snow, 5 centimeters of snow. How much do we have yet? I don't know
20.
if you 20. Oh my goodness. No, go ahead.
It was such a day today that I haven't had a chance to shovel yet. So my drive waiting.
Ooh, yes. Oh my goodness. I feel like as soon as I went outside with my boots, I have to get I don't know if I have to get thicker boots or thicker socks. They keep getting wet. I don't know if, you know, when it just comes in I don't know what kind of thing it is. And then I went to the mall today and the Tim Hortons got shut down because there was a COVID outbreak. And it was just oh my goodness. I feel like it's just been a hectic day, but you know what? I'm so glad we're going to be settling it down today with the topics of online dating apps and, you know, online relationships, any tips for profiles and all of that today. So, you know, without further ado, why don't you go ahead and tell people about the app that you kind of are familiar with in this area? I know before we talked about this on Lavish a bit and about your apps and stuff like that, but why not hear it from your mouth better? You know what I mean? You got it.
Yeah. So about 20 some odd years ago,
yeah,
a friend of mine, a good friend of mine in California, contacted me to, you know, we were both single, and he said, "How this thing of going out to clubs and meeting women doesn't work.
It's not for everybody." Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's enjoyable, but the 20 questions that, you know, were asked before you could get someone into the dance floor wasn't very appealing. So we decided that we wanted to see what we could do. We were both from the technology segment, and we wanted to see what we could do. And we created a small app. We said, maybe we can find somebody there. And that was the purpose of the application, for us to find mates, wives, and then close shop. But, you know, as time progressed, we saw that, you know, we were getting a huge market. I was running the Canadian side, he was running the US side. And one of the things that really keyed us in was that we started getting people joining from Europe and from Asia,
Right.
It was, and we segmented. I mean, the application is called JDate, Jewish Dateline. So
Uh-huh.
it was an ethnic-oriented application that we created, and it's was a great tool. And
Mm-hmm.
when we saw that it was getting a lot of coverage, we said, "Oh, this can be a good business also."
Uh-huh.
So at the beginning, it was all totally free,
Uh-huh.
and we had almost in the first 6 months, we got to about 100,000 people on the application,
Wow. Now, I don't mean to
on the website.
interrupt you. I don't mean to interrupt you, but at that time, you said this was 20 years ago. Were there other kind of like apps that were like, for the online dating? Like, how come you guys just like instantly were like, we gotta find this or make this? Like, was there other apps or
Well,
tools
oh,
that you could have used?
yeah, there were. I mean, there were the conventional ones, and
Mm-hmm.
it was an ICQ. I don't know if you
Yeah, yeah.
ICQ. So that's how originally we started. We started with ICQ
Uh-huh.
background to the website. So
Right.
and then we developed the website a little bit further. And
Mm-hmm.
we noticed that there was a large amount of men and a very little amount of women.
Right.
So we came to the conclusion that we had to charge the men to meet the women.
Ah, that's interesting because I feel like even today with online dating apps and stuff like that, I feel like there's probably more of a majority of men, you know what I mean? And it's not like women are not looking for that partner too, right? So I think that that's what we were going to get in a little bit of today too, because I was going to ask, like, with different generations, there has always been different views on these online dating apps, you know what I mean? And there's been a lot of stigma towards that too. I remember when I started out on these dating apps, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want people to judge me. Maybe they're going to think I'm desperate or whatever. So I was going to ask you for some tips too, or like, how to kind of avoid the stigma or how to deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, is it just like, is it a mentality thing to be in? Like, I'm searching for this and I'm going to find it, kind of like a shopping list online, or how are you
Uh,
going to deal with that today?
Look, and I have always said that you cannot be too picky with what how you are going to meet a mate.
Uh-huh.
And I'll tell you that it does work because I met my wife on JDate.
We need to hear that story today. When Tiana comes on, we are going to hear that story. Guys, you guys heard it here first. Eduardo met his wife on an online dating app. This literally is providing hope to everybody out here today because, I thought it was just a downhill from there. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to find a person. But I'm like, am I just using the wrong app? Am I asking the wrong questions? Is my profile picture not sexy enough? What is the big deal? What is going on? So hopefully all of that, like, you'll be able to tell us too. But oh my goodness, I want to hear this story. Like, I'm so excited and can't wait. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? I mean, was she on the app like a little bit before? Was she always like, you know what I mean? What was she like? What did you ask her? What are the questions that,
So one of the things, she was originally on the ICQ,
Okay.
and that's how I first met her.
Uh-huh.
But we lost track of each other because
Oh, is she Jewish as well?
huh?
Is she Jewish as well,
She's Jewish
or?
as well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we lost touch with each other through for about 6 or 7 months, and then I sent her a message. Look, why don't you join this site, and we can start talking again? And she joined, and we started chat. We had chat rooms, private chat rooms on JDate, and
Uh-huh.
a private chat room, and we started talking. And the funny thing was that that she was an ex classmate of mine.
Mm.
Realized that she was the same person, and when we in Venezuela, she was that she sat right in front of me. I, so
And you didn't recognize her at all? You didn't? Did you not know? Was she the one who brought it up?
And no, so we started talking. We started sharing information about ourselves.
Uh-huh.
Realized after that,
Oh
as her, she moved to Curacao, I moved to Canada, and we lost touch with each other.
my. Mm.
And and we started talking, and all of a sudden, the conversation started getting more, more friendly, uh,
Yeah.
and we spent almost 2.5 years on JDate talking in chat rooms.
Wow, that is
And
amazing. I mean, is there certain questions you're supposed to like? So from what I've heard from you is that, the conversation gets friendlier and stuff like that. So are you guys, so in the beginning, is it about getting to know each other about your past, you know what I mean? Like what's going on, your career, what you're interested in? Is it like those type of questions or?
so basically, I mean, we started talking about, what have you been doing? Because we knew each other as kids, but
Right.
uh, yeah, I mean, you have to. I always say that you have to start. Don't get too deep into
Yeah.
conversations.
Uh-huh.
Relax. Be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Everything will work out from there because you have to understand. One, you have to gain a trust of that individual.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they. It's very difficult to judge someone online because you haven't seen them, you haven't met them, so you have to be really careful. You know, sometimes, and it has happened in JDate as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we have banned people because they were fake. Uh,
Oh,
we had
yeah.
people that said that they were Jewish or they were not, and we had now we have a very strict screening service to
Mm-hmm.
so that doesn't happen. Uh,
Right. I also have a question with that too. If somebody was to have joined the app, right, who's Jewish or whatever, but then or somebody else who wants to convert, what happens when it comes to converting or somebody wants to transfer over? Are they able to
so
delete the app or like do they have to leave or can they
no,
join it? Like
so we have actually when you join JDate, uh,
mhm.
we have in the profile. Are you what are these designations? Are you Orthodox, modern Orthodox, conservative, just
Mhm.
uh, community aware? And we ask them, are you willing to convert?
Mhm.
And if none of the categories match, the system will automatically throw them out.
Oh. When you say throw them out, do you mean like they won't be able to access the
They
account?
will not, they won't be able to access the application anymore.
Oh, I see.
They have
So
to
with
they have to at least say give you an option so that the other person that is reading the profile
they
understands,
can be informed.
they are
Uh-huh.
informed.
Right. So if they're willing to convert or anything like that, they could see both. They could see if they're also Orthodox and then
Yeah,
if they're willing to convert.
and when you are talking about people within the community,
Hmm.
we ask them what synagogue are you affiliated to, so
Hmm.
know that this person cannot just do research. You know what I mean?
Right.
On a synagogue nearby, because they have to know. Uh,
Hmm.
they might, and it has happened that we had a case about 6 years ago that
Uh-huh.
that someone put that they were ultra orthodox.
Hmm.
They when they went to put the synagogue that they belonged to, it was a reformed. So
Ah.
so immediately we said, oh, he might have put the wrong answer. So we actually are in contact with most of the synagogues around the world.
Hmm.
Said, is this person a member of your synagogue?
Right. Wow. I mean, I guess these are like more, I guess the more smaller the space, the more specific, you know what I mean? The types develop and generating and
Yeah.
stuff like that. That is really interesting because, with a lot of platforms too, I wanted to ask this about your kind of platform there too. A lot of platforms also maybe have like the woman kind of start the conversation or have questions for the woman to ask on this specific platform. Are both the male and female allowed to communicate anytime, or does it
Yeah.
give like a certain question to ask, or?
No, no, no. We allow. That's why we have the community chat room, and then
Uh-huh.
and then if you meet somebody there that you want to speak to, and you see that
Hmm.
fits with you,
Hmm.
then you call them to a private chat room, and you can continue the conversation there.
Right.
But we go beyond that. Uh,
Oh,
Hi.
hello. Hello.
Here
Good.
is
How
How
are
the
are you guys
you?
doing?
amazing, amazing. How are you doing, Diane?
I'm
Good, good. We were just talking about some of the applications. Remember, like before when we had our conversation last time, we were talking about the Jewish dating app that he's been having, like, and and he met his life on there, which is amazing. He told the story a bit. But yeah, we have so many questions today, and we're so glad that you can come here and join Lavish. I feel like today is going to be a special edition full of lots and lots of questions for both of you guys to answer that I have here as well. But you know what? Go ahead, continue. But how are you doing, Deanna?
good actually. I'm really good. I'm so excited to be in Lavish again. Like I really love your show. It's so, like you can actually like talk like, like about different things, about life, about
Yes.
dating.
Yes, perfect. And I feel like we have a balanced ratio here now. So now I can ask the questions, and we can have the male perspective, the female perspective, everything like that. So this is really, really great. Yes. Eduardo, did you want to continue on what you were saying there? I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So basically, like as I was telling you, I mean, the way we go beyond the normal application.
Right.
We try to build a family, a community within within JDate, and we have both cruises that we organize events. So I was running actively with the application. We did cruises into the Caribbean. We did cruises in Europe,
Ah, that is amazing.
and we actually, because we had the amount of people, the sufficient amount of people that wanted to participate on those activities, we actually rented the complete cruise ship. So we ran our events. We and people met. By the way, we have a 95% success rate.
Wow, that is amazing. I can't even imagine if like Tinder had a boat cruise where everyone was able to like come on board and meet everyone, or if any other app. That is amazing that your like that app kind of like uses those like events to kind of gather people, everyone mingling and meeting people as well. Super excited there. Deanna, you didn't miss too much earlier. We were kind of just talking about any tips and stuff. I think I sent you the questions earlier too, just a preview there. But as far as tips and stuff too, like we were just hearing from Eduardo. You can always play this back and listen to what he says too on Facebook or the Chrome sticks, whoever. I'm not good at the promo, but all that. But earlier, is there any advice that you also think that can help maybe like upgrade like someone's profile, or start conversations, or what I mean, even captions and stuff that can help like kind of like excel that to make it more compatible?
Yeah, I actually spoke about it on my last episode of Single Pringle. I actually did an episode
When
where
is that?
I
Was that on
was
Sunday?
creating a
Sunday as well?
profile.
Oh, sorry. Was that on Sunday as
What?
well? Is that on Sunday or?
Yeah, Sunday. It was like 2 weeks ago, but it was 2 weeks ago.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Continue.
Yeah. So
Nice.
I was creating a profile on Bumble, and I was like choosing my own pictures, creating my own bio, and it was all live, like do it yourself, kind of thing. And there I gave some tips on what kind of pictures you shouldn't post. For example, like pictures with fish. Like we are not fans of pictures with fish. I'm sorry. And as well, like pictures where you're a lot of like with bunch of people, because like when you're looking at that picture, you can't decide who like who's the person, like which person is dating profile, right? Yeah, so I was
Mm.
talking about a lot of stuff there. Yeah, you should definitely check that out. It was two
I
weeks
think I
ago.
remember
I didn't
watching
have my
that.
show. uh,
Oh,
what-
sorry. I think I remember watching that episode, and it was like you were carrying everyone through watching. Like I remember you deleted like the caption, and you're like, okay, let's put this, but you don't have to do the same thing as me. You want to make it specific to yourself. I think I remember you like saying that in it, and then I was seeing the background of that too. But did you want to share some of those tips? I mean, I know you don't have the backdrop here to like show everybody, but everyone should definitely tune into that episode. When was that again? Like, are we able to just go back and find that? Do you remember when? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. I guess it's still running on
Okay.
Burn Burner and her network.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it was 2 weeks ago. I didn't have my show for 2 weeks because like I had some things going on. That's why like I was out for a while, but I'm coming back this Sunday, 3 p.m. Don't miss it. Single Pringle.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Super
I was talking
excited.
about like the most important tip is just try to show your personality. I know that dating apps are like usually focused on physical looks, but still like there are a lot of beautiful people out there and you have to stand out, and in order to stand out you have to be yourself, you have to show your personality, you know.
Oh, correct, correct. Love that. Definitely like I guess that definitely does help in terms of like, like having the captions and pictures. What about for starting conversations? How am I able to like, and this is a question to both of you guys, Eduardo and Deanna. So what about for starting conversation? I know I kind of asked earlier, but in terms of starting a conversation, am I supposed to kind of tell them a little bit about myself or ask them questions? Like, how does this usually play out?
Uh, well,
Mm,
I'll mention
Eduardo,
you how
you can start.
I'll tell you how I started. Basically, as I told you, um, basically we had something in common. Considering that my wife, I knew her when she was when we were kids, but the conversation started as a uh, you know type of getting to know each other. I asked her what she did, uh,
What she did as in her like career or
what
like
she
what
was
she's passionate.
what she was doing in general as a whole. So I mean, do you go to school? Do you go, that kind of thing. Not nothing too personal,
Mm-hmm.
but something that can give you an idea of where to proceed, go, how to move forward. Uh, your likes, dislikes is always a nice theme. Uh, you know, uh, I got to a point, and before I met my wife on JDate or on ICQ, because that's how we started. Uh, I had looked at other women on JDate, and the topic of conversation was, oh, I see that you are from LA. I travel often there, and she would go, what do you know? Where have you been in LA? And that would open a conversation, and I would talk about the restaurants and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So that would open a conversation.
Ah, right. Good. What about you, Deanna?
Amazing. That's yeah, that's because you have common interest. Yeah. That's good, like to start a conversation on something that you both share, you know, like she was in LA, oh, I traveled there a lot, and there it keeps going. That's wonderful.
Yeah, wow. I definitely think this is a good conversation because that brings us to that the controversial kind of like question that I know like I tend to want to know more. And it's about the person's past, their past experience or their past date. And I don't know if that's okay to ask, but I want to get your opinion on this because is it okay to ask a person, we just met on this app or whatever, and I'm like, I kind of want to know what their last date was like or how it went down, but is that okay to ask somebody or is that too personal? Why don't you go ahead? Yeah,
Go ahead, Diana.
Yeah, absolutely. It is good to ask it is good to ask people about their last date. Like it's okay to be curious. It's so and like take some notes for yourself probably, But you also have to understand that some people don't like talking about their dates, and that's fine. The reasons can be different from person to person. It can be related to personality trait, like people who don't like sharing details about their private life. So you should probably just leave them. Another reason is that the date might have gone not really well. That's why it's better to forget and not bring it up, and like that's why people don't want to talk about it, right? So like it depends on situations, but if you want to ask, I recommend doing it in a delicate way. Not like, oh my god, was she hot, like was he hot, did he buy you a drink or something like that. Like try starting a conversation like, the weather is nice today, by the way, how was your day, something like that, for example. And
Just sliding it in there.
yeah, basically. If the person says, "Oh, it was nice," and that's it, well, that means he doesn't want to talk about it. So you just like
Mm.
change the subject, I
I-
guess.
Is that
But it's
considered a
completely
red flag? Mhm.
red flag. Why? Like not
Like if
wanting
he
to
if he
talk about
doesn't, yeah, if he doesn't want to talk about it, if he's completely like shut off and he's like, it was fine, thanks, but like I don't really want to talk about her or talk about it. Like, is that considered a red flag that he may still have feelings for this woman, or you know?
No, I don't think that's necessarily.
it.
It's basically people
I
tend
mean,
people tend to shy away from discussing personal stuff on a first introduction, let's say.
Mm.
I mean, you have to start talking about what's common ground, and then get into the more personal stuff once you develop. I mean, I'll tell you from experience that with my wife, uh, meet for almost 2.5 years before I actually met her in person, and we were on J date for 2.5 years talking about kids, talking about education, talking about how we would like to grow family and stuff like that.
I feel like I would love to talk about that, like the future like that, and be like, so how many kids do you want and whatever, but I don't want it to be too overwhelming on the guy. And he's like, whoa, 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 like, we're not gonna talk about kids yet. Like, like how do you insert that in there? That's like, I'm looking for a future with you.
Remember,
You know what I mean?
and that was, let's put it this way. With me, remember, my wife was in Venezuela, I was in Toronto, so
Yeah.
we had more of a chance to actually engage into very intricate conversations
Uh-huh.
at a distance. Uh, and but in today's reality, I mean, you are in the app to start a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and then to actually meet the person probably on a second or third conversation that you have online. So it's that you are going to get more conversational about personal stuff once you meet. You know, and in some cases it works, in some cases it doesn't work. I mean, with me, it happened to be that it worked because of the distance that we had. Uh, we really got into topics, and although I knew her, I didn't know her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we got into those topics. We got about in topics about her family, what they believed in, and at that point, we were two completely different people, because she was not Orthodox, I was Orthodox,
Mm-hmm.
and we got into multiple discussions about the upbringing of kids based on my beliefs of how I grew up. And she found it strange. I mean, she was finding it strange that I wanted to have, and we didn't agree on much. And now that we are married, we kind of are, one of the things that with our marriage particularly is that we were friends. We got engaged before we were friends, because we
Oh. Okay, so you guys got engaged before you were friends. So are you saying that later on you kind of got to know her more than before?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I feel like that's a little
I
reverse.
went,
Like I'm
I
like,
went, I went to Venezuela to meet her, to see her for the first time in almost 25 years, and I took the ring with me because I knew that she was the one for me.
wow, we need more guys like Eduardo out here who just takes the ring with him. It's like, this is the first date, you know,
And
Deanna,
this is
but I'm
so
gonna bring the
cute.
ring because she might be the one. Can you imagine? I would love that. Oh my goodness.
So,
Wow.
I had one of her friends. I had talked with one of her friends also on J Date about, about what I was thinking of doing, and I had her take take my wife to my uncle's jewelry store in Venezuela,
Hmm.
measure her fingers so I could buy the ring.
Wow. That is
And
amazing.
she had no idea. Like, I mean, she had no idea at all.
I feel like nobody would have any idea. This is like, you know what I mean? Just so spontaneous. I feel like it's just so like out there. Like, can you imagine? Like, here it is. Wait, so did you just propose to her there or?
So I arrived. I arrived in Venezuela, and she came down with all her friends to the airport because she didn't want to be alone. So when I arrived at the airport, basically there was a sign, "Welcome to Welcome to Venezuela, Eduardo." I
Oh.
saw everybody. I saw her friend that I had spoken with, and I didn't see her. And I said, I went to her friend, "Where is she?" So she was, "If you go outside the airport, right, look at the third post. She's standing behind at the hiding in the third post." You know, it was a different. I went and talked to her and everything, and it went really well. I mean, it was really good. But that's I went. She took me to my cousin's house to drop my suitcase and stuff like that, and then we went to her house for dinner.
Uh-huh.
And because her father was in Curacao dealing with the death of her grandfather, basically I asked for her hand in marriage to her mother,
Well,
and and because I'm very traditional in that way. I mean, so
mhm.
I approached her mother, and she said, "No, no, 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 no. If you want to ask for her hand in marriage, you are coming to Curacao with us. We are leaving next week, and you ask her father."
Wow, then your schedule has to be flexible if they're saying like, no, you gotta go do this, and don't forget to
Yeah,
jump over the
and
moon and
we
this.
and we really we spent a week in Venezuela, and then we went to Curacao. I went to Curacao, made
Hmm.
myself completely because I realized her father was very dark.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was one of the bellboys at the airport picking up your suitcases. I offered him a tip to carry my luggage, but it was an icebreaker.
An icebreaker. An icebreaker. You thought her father was one of the guys at the airport trying to take your luggage and like bring it to the car. Oh my goodness, Eduardo, I feel like your story is just like a movie here. I don't know if that happens to everybody, but that is like
But
so crazy.
I, I asked for her hand in marriage. Her father immediately said, "You are going down to Canada with Eduardo. You will have to see what he does, how he lives."
Mm.
And we went from what was supposed to be a long engagement to a 2.5 month engagement and getting married.
Wow. Wow.
Because
I mean, that is definitely a story that gives me hope to like, wow, maybe I should just convert or like join the app. You know what I mean? Deanna, do you have anything to add to that too? Like, I know like the question kind of got like lost in his like amazing, like exotic story with the icebreakers and stuff like that. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, like at the beginning, as Eduardo said, like you have to take it slow. I totally agree with it. And you have to take it slow. And who knows, you might end up in a fairy tale like Eduardo's story.
Oh my goodness, yes. And like one of the other questions that I was like searching up online and looking, and I'm like, really wondering about, like, I want both of your opinions on this, is that is using a dating app cheating? Now, this is a tricky question because I mean, like, a lot of people still have their profiles on Tinder or, Hue or whatever kind of apps, and they may be in a relationship now because they finally found someone on it or anything. So do we have to delete the app when we're done? Like, what happens if this doesn't work out? I don't want to have to restart my whole profile, right? So is having the dating app cheating? Is that considered cheating or?
It's not. I have my profile still on JDate. My wife still has her profile on JDate. You know what I mean?
Okay, Deanna, what do you think?
I love this question, like, because it's really controversial. I've been interested in this area and this topic because I really wanted to know why people cheat. And like, people cheat for their own various reasons, and people see cheating in different ways as well. For someone, it's a betrayal, something not forgiving. But for someone, it's something natural. Like, they understand that we all get tired of each other sometimes, and cheating is just something like inevitable. In terms of cheating in an online dating world, I would say normally, if you're in a committed relationship, keyword committed, you are not supposed to be on dating apps. And when you're seriously dating someone, you're supposed to close any other options besides your partner, right? That's why, in my opinion, it's important to know where you stand with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, are you in an open relationship? That means any of you have the right to use dating apps because none of you said, I want to be exclusive. That's why labels are important. I know that our generation can stand labels and all that stuff. Like, it's easier to be nothing than something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, without labels, it always gets messy. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm with an old-fashioned mind or something. No, like, I was in a relationship with no labels, and I regretted that decision. I understood it was not the best decision for me, because in a no label relationship, girls get hurt the most, in my opinion. But guys, it's like, oh. But for guys, it's like, oh, no labels. I am free. I can do what I want. And like, let's get back to the point of cheating. Another situation is when you're in a serious relationship, but you agreed on bringing other people into your lives. That's fine. Like, everything has to be discussed with your partner. And if not, that is considered cheating. And in Eduardo's situation, for example, like, his wife knows that he's still on dating apps. Like, it's okay. It's not cheating because you know what's going on. Nothing goes behind your back, and anything that you're doing behind your partner's back is considered cheating. By the way, I was wondering lately, and I think most people do as well, like, is thinking about another person considered cheating? Like, it's a really tricky question, and I did some Yes, I did some research on that, and guess what? What do you
Oh my
think?
God.
Is it
I mean, I don't know because like it depends because there was so many times like I'm a person who zones out a lot. So I'll just start like even on the bus, like I'll be thinking about somebody or whatever. But when I was in relationships, sometimes like, I slipped up and may have called him my ex's name or something. And he's like, what did you just call me? And I'm like, oh my God, it wasn't that I was thinking of my ex or anything like that. I swear, cross my heart. But it has gotten me in trouble. And I don't know if it's cheating because it's not like I'm doing anything with the person. It's just thinking, right? Or am I wrong? Is it cheating?
Yeah, so I thought the same way as you did, but sorry, Eduardo, you want
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought the same way, and I did some research on that, and it is cheating, and it is called emotional cheating, and it's even worse than physical one. Can you imagine?
So
Like, I
I
was
cheated.
shocked.
You're saying that I have cheated on all the boyfriends I've ever had in my entire life. Oh my goodness.
I mean, no. I meant like, if you're like in a relationship with someone and like you're thinking about another person, like you're developing feelings for another person, you're just thinking about him, right? It is considered cheating still, if you're not even like physically.
I should just get like a cheater stamp across my forehead. Or you know what? Better yet, I'll bring out my ho 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 headband and just put it on today. And I'll wear this for the rest of the show now that I've noticed the cheater here. Oh my goodness. But continue. So with the research, it's saying what was it called? It says it's worse than physical cheating.
Yes, it's worse. And it's called emotional cheating because like you're developing an emotional connection with another person. And it's worse.
Oh my goodness, this is out really crazy. You know, I used to think about that too, because like I feel like when you start, well, this is a little bit off of that question and going back to like the cheating kind of thing there with the apps. When you start dating someone too, like I know, like, you know, like when you start dating them and whatever, like I don't know, you don't know how long it's gonna last and stuff, right? So when you were saying like, oh, we should delete the app or delete the profile, is it the same thing? Like, does it matter if you delete your profile? Because if you delete the app, your profile still exists, right? But it's like, what if this only lasts for 2 weeks and we're like, okay, we were just talking, we were dating a little bit, didn't work out, and I want to get back on there. Like, am I in trouble there? Is that like a problem, or does it matter?
Like getting back on the app or what? After
Getting back on the app, or like even because I'm talking to him now and, you know, we're taking this a step further, right? So like even having the app or having the profile kind of count as cheating? Like, does that, you know, because you were talking about this earlier.
Yeah. I mean, because like, I don't know, when you
even if I
have
don't have the app, I still have the profile, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because when you have a profile, like an existent one, you can like, you know exactly that you can come back whenever you can, right? You can just go to your app store and download that app, so it's not a problem. But I guess like, if you're really into that person seriously, you should delete both profiles and apps.
And what about you, Eduardo? Do you agree too? Like, you know, like if I know you and your wife still have like the profile and stuff, but if I was dating somebody, you know, is it bad that if I have a profile there still, even if we're trying to get exclusive and he's like, oh, what do you need the app for? I thought we're gonna be, you know, for like forever. What is the, you know, the quotes that people say forever, like the dream team, like the goals, couples goals and stuff, right? Is it like, does it matter if I have the app or if I have the profile there? Do you consider it cheating?
It all depends.
If I'm using it?
I think there is any problem. I don't think there is any problem because, and in the case of my wife and myself, why do we have still the
But you see, with you guys, I feel like there's so much loyalty there because you guys are like husband and wife. So, you know, like there's no sneaking around at night looking for the hot Jewish lady next up on the line, you know, top picks. There's no sneaking around there, right? This is like, I feel like when it comes to single people, I mean, I'm not saying I have loyalties to every single guy I talk to on these dating apps, like, right? I'm not gonna be like 100. I'm gonna be like, oh, as soon as he like says something that turns me off, I'm like, let me just go back on the app and see if anybody else spooks my interest there. You know what I mean? But I don't want to be like that. But, you know, with that being said, Eduardo, do you think like it's still a problem, or?
I don't think as long as you are upfront with the person, and that's what it comes down to, be transparent with the person that you are dating or you are in a relationship with. They shouldn't have a problem with it because they know that you are being transparent. And I was giving you the example, my wife and myself, why are we still on the application, or why are we still on the website? We use that to communicate with our friends that we created along the way. There is still a lot of the married couples that were on JDate that are still there because they use it as a chat room to interact with their friends that they met on JDate.
Now with JDate, I'm a little confused here. So when you say interact with your friends, are you able to see other males on there too? Like I know like for your like sexual preference, if it's women, are you talking about the female friends like you're trying to keep in contact with?
You actually can see everybody. We
Oh, okay. So that's so it's different from like regular apps. Because like for mine,
Yeah.
like if I wanted to keep in
So on
contact
the
with friends.
website, you can see in the chat rooms, you can see all the conversations that are going on, unless it's a private chat room.
Ah, okay.
And and
So
so
it's more of like a social media platform then, rather than
we
like
that like I said, we focused it on somebody that you want that
Mhm.
to entertain. You pull that person off to a private chat room. And we have multiple chat rooms within JDate, because there is different ways in which people meet each other. We have the ultra orthodox that are not supposed to be on the application, so it blocks the name of the person, and when that person is ready to uh, speak with the other person as a normal relationship, then they actually bring their names up.
Mhm.
So it's a different story because
Mhm.
we talk with a lot of our friends through JDate, and um, my partner also met his wife on JDate. Uh,
Wow.
you know, and we talk to each other through there because it's easier than communicating through a phone, because you can always come on JDate. We say, um, in 2 weeks, Saturday, we are all going to meet, and we all go into a chat room with all our friends, and we talk about experiences and what's going on with the families and stuff like that. Uh,
Wow.
we have in the private chat rooms, we actually have cameras that you can see each other.
Wow. You're like I swear I feel like I'm watching a commercial right now. He's making it seem like it's a vacation. We have cameras, we have everything, family, friends. Join us, join our app today. And I'm like, woo, sign me up, Hanukkah is coming up too, and
No, I'm not Jewish.
pardon?
I was just saying that I really got interested and I was gonna like really check that out. Although I'm not Jewish, is it okay if I'm not Jewish to join the app?
So we discussed that with Samantha before. So basically, the way we work it is we don't discriminate against anybody, but one of the questions that we ask is if you find somebody, if you would convert for that person.
Ooh. See, so these are like questions that like I feel like like
Because
when it's not like a regular survey. It's like, are you willing to convert for this person? It's like, well, it depends. If I meet him and he's the one and I just know it with all my heart, it's just like, boom, like there. So it's like keep going. Yeah, go ahead.
so we have different different ways to try to screen the people. You know what I mean? Are they coming just for the joy of it, or are they just coming, or are they actually serious about the relationships that they are going to develop, or friendships that they are going to develop? Because most of the people that are on our site are people that are uh, ready to start a relationship. Uh, we have some people that are into friendships, but most of them are in the idea of, I want to get married, I want to have a relationship, that's what I want. Uh,
So it's more
but
serious.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a more serious site,
Hmm.
because we like I told you, Samantha, it basically those are the people that don't like to go to clubs, that don't like to go, to use the normal. They don't meet anyone. Either they will meet somebody in their synagogue or in the community, uh, but they have no time, so they go on to J-Date, and that's why.
You see, but see, with the pandemic going on and clubs are shut down and like, you know, the regular ways of kind of meeting people, I feel like a lot of people nowadays are turning to these apps. So, you know, it is good that you do have a platform that is serious. So, but now I think like there's probably more challenges of like testing if they're serious or not, because like everybody's now kind of interested, whether they're bored at home, whether they're just, they want someone to cuddle with or wanting to get married. Like, I mean, I feel like a lot of people are now turning to these apps. So, I mean, it's good you told me it's not for people who are like, you know, just don't do it the regular ways. It's just serious, like business transactions. Like, do you want to get married? Yes,
So
I do.
so I'll tell you from the latest stats that I have received
Mm-hmm.
from our group of analysts. We had during the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
so far 170% increase in people that have joined the application.
I'm not surprised.
because
A lot of people.
because as you said, there is no going out, there is not, so they are trying to meet through us.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the funny parts is that we had within the pandemic period, we had more weddings happen than in on regular times,
Mm-hmm.
because people are more conscious about the idea that they want to start something.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be the time for some
Well,
reason.
I hope you let Deanna join it so that she's able to give like a show kind of on it and how that experience was like. I feel like she always gives like reviews on like, you know, the app, stuff like that, tips and stuff. And it would be really cool to see you in a serious space with serious people, you know, when you're looking for something. Obviously, we're not trying to make it an experiment, but that would be really cool if you could talk about like, you know, so I met this Jewish guy and he was like, you know, I'm this, you know what I mean? I want to hear about that. So I definitely do suggest maybe like, woo, that would be an excited episode
So
there too.
you can join, Diana. There is no problem with that.
This is like
Uh,
research. Woo, Deanna, tell us how it is. Oh my goodness, super excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, go ahead.
you can join. There is no problem with that, and yeah, and test it out. You'll see our our questionnaire is very very down intricate as to what the way we question people, and women are free. So
I guess that's good, Deanna. I guess because I guess they charge the men because he was telling us earlier that there's a lot more men on these apps, but I think that goes for most apps, right? There's a lot more guys. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know, from what I see when I'm swiping and I'm like, guys. Obviously, all like that's my sexual preference, but a lot more guys in the community that are searching in that way. But women are also looking too. I just think that when we were talking about the stigma earlier, a lot of women are more you know, more cautious and fearful, I guess, you know what I mean, of like the reputation these apps give you or all of that. But you should definitely talk about that too. That would be so like I'm ready to tune in. Ugh. Oh my goodness. So what is
so
that? Sundays at 3?
so
Mhm.
our
At 3
ratio, just
p.m.
to give you an idea, our ratio of women to men right now,
Mhm.
we are almost there. Uh, in that the women are overstepping the men now.
Oh, okay.
So we are at 51% men, 49% women.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, we got a couple of like we don't have a couple of minutes. I was gonna say a couple of seconds left here on the show. But from the bottom of my heart, I just wanted to thank both of you guys for coming on here today. I feel like with the pandemic, so many people are so like interested in relationships, interested in cuddling up with that love of their life. You know what I mean? How to get started, how to get serious, or how to just have fun without pushing the boundaries. So definitely thank you guys for coming on Lavish today. I'm super excited. How can we get a hold of you, Deanna? And when does your show like air as well?
Yeah, so you can check my show on Sunday 3 p.m. It's called Single Pringle on Burn Burner Network and Her Network. I guess this week I'll be talking about catfish
Mm-hmm.
thing. It's like really, yeah.
Those fake accounts. Oh my goodness, gotta catch them. Yes. And your social media?
My social media, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Diana Phrase.
Mhm.
And on
Perfect.
Twitter, Diana Media.
Perfect. Thank you. Definitely be tuning in. And Eduardo, how can we get a hold of you? When does your show air? When can we get into the sports world? I'm super excited.
So
Buenos dias.
you can find me on barnburner.ca at
Mhm.
Eduardo at barnburner.ca.
Mhm.
The email. You can find me at Ed Harari everywhere,
Mhm.
as well as Spanglish Sports World.
Mhm.
And please, to everybody, I just want to remind you that this show can be heard on the Barn Burner Radio Network and its 122 platforms on social media. Remember
Mhm.
to go to our website, barnburner.ca, for all the news. Remember that we have our great team of writers that write great stories. So go there. You can download as well and hear and view all our programming. And remember that Barn Burner, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, but especially live it, because Barn Burner and the Her Network are here for you listening and viewing pleasure.
Perfect. And what's that app called just before we leave?
J-Date.
J-Date. Okay, definitely going to be tuning into that and seeing that. Come on, guys. Okay, thank you guys for coming. Have a good one.